Hello YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. I have a little more of a serious topic here I wanted to bring up. If it's going to be mostly more of a questions, I really do would invite very strongly any of you guys to comment on this topic. And as it is, this is one topic that I'm actually could see both sides very, very easily. I'm actually pretty split, or I'm feeling kind of gray, if you will. I have no particularly strong feelings one way or another on this one. If I did, it might lean slightly toward caution, and not so super happy on this. But okay, so what am I talking about here? I'm not talking about ASMR. That's whatever that. Okay. What I'm talking about is something that's coming up a bit more recently in, well, let's say YouTube, but maybe perhaps it's a little bit in the news. It has to do with psychology or psychiatry, I'll say. Hypnotherapy. It's called, yeah, hypnotherapy, or it's using hypnosis in a psychological thing. Or psychiatrist. A psychiatrist perform hypnosis to help their patients. Okay, so I had a friend of mine who actually has had this happen. He's asked for this therapy and went through it and told me about it a little bit in general, and had some deeper questions for him and in this area, and he said actually it was really very liberating, very freeing. Helped him kind of come to grips with these long sorrows, these issues he's had with, a family member or relative. And okay. So I've heard some positive feedback from someone I actually know personally in this arena, hypnotherapy, right? In my church, we are taught to be very cautious, to say the least. Very cautious indeed about this sort of thing. Hypnotherapy would be also something to be cautious about, I think. But I think Mormons would tend to see a psychologist, psychiatrist in a bit better light than just a guy who knows how to hypnotize people. But we see it in a better light because they're professionals, that sort of thing, and there's a reason why the person is it's something to help that person, right? The caution comes in with again, I hope I haven't talked about this already. I don't think I have. Sometimes you get that feeling, but I don't think I have. The caution comes in when you have the idea of, well, are psychologists or psychiatrists, are they to be as trusted as, we'll just say, our church leaders, local church leaders that, kind of have sometimes similar talks with them about very, very, very sometimes personal things and emotional things, and are these psychologists, psychiatrists, and psychologists, are they similar to be trusted? In this case, they might see this as an emotional health or that sort of thing rather than something spiritual. They are connected, but related, but So, yeah, it comes down to trust. Can you trust a professional as you would if you I don't know, sometimes some of you guys, everybody's different, right? So some people trust their religious leaders 100%. Other people don't trust religion at all. Okay, but can you trust someone? Now, in this book, I'm going to also include in the description a link to a video on YouTube called Elite Hypnotherapy in Miami. Dr. Stephen Roth performs hypnosis on a patient. It's a little bit longer. You don't have to see all of it. That's just one of many I could post, but I want to get you guys a little bit of idea what we're talking about here. So, yeah, it's true. Hypnosis involves someone getting to a state of relaxation where you're not dreaming, right? We know there's different stages of relaxation, and the more relaxed you become, the more you get into your subconscious completely, like delta stage of sleep, right? You're asleep. Your body's completely shut down. You're asleep. And you're dreaming, right? Rapid eye movement, right? So there's alpha, beta, there's different stages, right? The hypnosis happens when you're further down, but you're definitely not at the delta stage, but you're further down. So you probably, I don't know. I just know that you have to be pretty far down to actually get into that hypnosis stage. There are things that he does here in this video that, I mean, if I was hypnotized, I don't think I would. If I was stuck by a pin, I think I would feel it. Without, if I didn't listen, what do I know, right? Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. Well, actually, I'll mention maybe a few other things. So, what I understand about the subject, though, is that the subconscious has 90% of our brains are subconscious. 90%. That's a lot of. It's a lot of brain matter. That's a lot of us. 90% of us. 90% of what makes us us is in our subconscious, right? Or our soul. Or, it's the way we think. And the 10% that we use all the time, more on a daily basis, that's like our conscious mind, right? That's what we're always. Yeah, you see why I'm saying to exercise a lot of caution. It's like that 10% is our front yard, right? Let's compare us to ourselves to a house. The 10% is our front yard. It's what everybody sees when they drive by our house, when they visit our house, and if they don't come in. If they do come in, they'll see more of the house. But some people, this world is an evil world. It's a wicked world. It's a very selfish world. And some people are just not good people. You don't want to do it by rush with them. Of course, I understand this very implicitly. I understand this better than most, perhaps. I don't know, better than many. So there are people that you would only want them to ever see your front yard. Maybe not even that, right? Maybe you want a fence, really high fence or something, right? Very, very guarded. That's fine. Everybody's different. Whatever, but so you want people to see your front yard. The general public, you're probably generally okay with them seeing your front yard. Some people not so much. You only let into your house a small number of people. Right? Would you let a salesman into your house? If you liked him enough, and if you were really interested enough in what he was selling, if he looked like a nice person, he was thirsty, give him some water, give him a little spiel. That's very nice. That's far and beyond what happens to most salesmen. Most salesmen, Georgia salesmen, don't get that kind of treatment, right? Most people don't trust them enough. Maybe they trust them enough to listen to them at the doorstep. Sometimes, if we're, put in the spot here, when someone, comes to our door, we do a immediate, we make we have our first impression of someone, right? I've often wondered, what's the first impression people have of me? I don't want to get judgmental, right? I don't want to think badly about other people. I don't want to do all that stuff. But, I think it's still perhaps productive to ask myself what's the first impression that people have of me when I meet them in various circumstances, whether it's the person coming to my door, right, or me coming to their door, especially when I was a church LDS missionary, right? But so we have, if you don't have a good impression of someone, why you probably wouldn't let them in your door, right? And the worse that impression is, the more you definitely wouldn't let them in. Some people, sometimes it means slamming a door in someone's face if they're really scuzzy looking or really evil, even, right? Bad, right? Or sometimes you would just look through the little hole Right? A lot of people do this, look through the hole and see what it is, and if the guy looks like he's a demon, or if he's really bad, he's a bad boy, or looks really like dangerous or questionable. Yeah, yeah, no. A lot of people don't even answer the door, right? So, but a lot of people don't even answer the door, even if you're a nice person, right? Some people just hate to be bothered, right? Some people just hate door-to-door people, whatever. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter if they're selling something or if they're talking about a missionary or it doesn't matter if LDS or how Jehovah's Witnesses. It just doesn't matter, right? Some people they just don't hate. They hate to be bothered, right? So, right, but I guess what I'm going with this is, and I'm going on a little bit here. Your house and your backyard, where if have kids, which whatever, it's where your kids play a lot of times. You'd probably like your kids to play in the backyard rather than the front yard because backyard has more privacy. They're not worried about them running out to the road, right? And if your backyard has some space and some lawn and some play areas, right? It's a great space, So some people have swimming pools. I know in California, and, that's where you have your swimming pools. In the back, it's in the back. It's not front, right? I don't know. It's the same way it is with ourselves, with our brain, with our soul. We're okay with people seeing 4, 5, 3, 2%, 6, 7% of us, whatever it is, up to 10%. That's conscious. We're okay with that, right? Are we okay with someone knowing 20 or 30 or 40 or 50% of our souls? Our souls are us? What makes us us? What really does make us us? All the little things that we can't always explain. Everything. Why we respond to different things the way we do, and why it's different from person to person, and what favorite fruit flavors, memories of grandparents, why certain smells cause us to have certain emotions. And then beyond that, at a certain point, yeah, I would trust my parents to know stuff about me, my family, and maybe a few others. But at a certain point, it's almost like, well, you kind of have to be God. Almost, who am I comfortable with sharing everything, every part of me? Well, it'll be my family and the person I marry. A few others, absolutely. Okay, hopefully more than a few others, but it would be people very, very close to you. Would it be a psychologist or psychiatrist? If you're slipping more into your subconscious mind, and of course, yes, a psychologist or psychiatrist would never ask questions that go too deep, right? That nobody knows about, except, well, actually, part of what this hypnotherapy is letting out stuff from your subconscious that you maybe just pushed aside, right? According to my friend who's had this done. Okay, so sometimes that stuff can get kind of heavy. You have to trust in the professionalism of that psychologist or psychiatrist. You have to trust in their character, not only in their professionalism, right, in what they're doing. They're bound by all these kinds of codes of ethics and things, but so it's character and it's what their job is. But it's like, yeah, you're potentially talking about some pretty serious stuff. Yeah. So, I'm still cautious about this. I think it's right to be cautious, but again, I can see it both directions, and I think whatever helps people the most, just be happier and more at peace. A lot of times, though, let's be honest, some things really are a spiritual kind of nature, and this is why it's good to, well, more on that subject maybe later, but this life is crazy enough, in my opinion, that it's great to have someone that you can ask questions to and get some perspective on what's going on in your life. And, in my church, of course, we refer to this person, you can think of this as maybe your father, or maybe mom, but really in our church it's bishop, right? But sometimes the bishop is seen as kind of scary thing, But you start talking about, the deepest, most personal things, right? You can think of, like, he's the one to talk to, right? But it would be him, in many respects, not a psychologist or psychiatrist, even though you might think of a psychologist, psychiatrist as sometimes their roles overlap a little bit, but it's something truly lasting, right? Lasting peace. Talking about things of the spirit, right? And it's related, but anyway, leave me your thoughts and comments below. I'll catch you guys later.